at the Alamo Draft House to go see Wolf Man by Lee Wanell. I'm a big fan of Lee Wanell. Always have been, but ever since The Invisible Man, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's amazing.
Are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
And we were attacked. I think my husband was infected.
Well, I liked it. I didn't love it. Here's what I liked. I liked the animalness of it. I liked that he took very seriously the sort of what it would feel like to become an animal. There's this really cool stuff in there with animal vision and animal hearing. He kind of pays extra attention to like the neurological side of the animal transformation. That was cool. I was happy to see that. Didn't like the story, just wasn't, I don't feel like the script was ready. I really felt like the action really ping-ponged around a lot. It kind of yanks you back and forth without really going forward enough. So it felt like a lot of lost motion, which is too bad. But back to the other thing that I liked, which was the animalness, the transformation. I thought he was really digging into our fear of transformation. And here's the thing. The Wolfman myth taps into a very deep and very, very, very real fear that we have, and that is of rabies. This is where the Wolfman comes from. You get bit by an animal, and then suddenly you start acting like that animal. You start becoming aggressive. You're not the person you once were. Can you imagine how terrifying that must have been for people, not just from antiquity, but like going back 100 years, prior, 100 years and before 100 years, where there was no explanation for this. That must have been the most terrifying thing in the world, watching someone you know become an animal, become an aggressive, deranged weirdo. And the fact is, even knowing what rabies is now, if you've ever seen video of someone with rabies, I don't recommend this, by the way, it's still terrifying. So our species lived with the fear of rabies for a very, very long time, and I think it's baked in to our consciousness, whether we've, forgotten about it or not in the modern world. It's still there. And the Wolfman myth taps into that. And this movie does tap into that more so, I would say, than a lot of other Wolfman movies that I've seen. But then it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of loses the one thing it had going for it and gets into a very kind of prolonged action sequence that feels mismanaged. It's just a very confusing sequence of events. This is what I'm trying to say. Much like this review is a confusing sequence of events, but I have an excuse. I'm on a lot of cough medicine right now, and I am delirious.